I mean, think about like how we got some of the things we just use every day.
It really is remarkable.
Like who woke up and was like, I'm going to invent the microwave.
Right.
But today's deep dive is all about those happy accidents, the inventions that started with mistake,
Yeah.
a mishap, or just plain dumb luck.
What I think is so fascinating about this is that it really reveals a kind of deeper truth about innovation. It's not always this straight line from I have this idea to here's the breakthrough.
Right.
Sometimes the most interesting discoveries, the things that really change how we live, are these total surprises.
Absolutely. And we are diving into a book called 25 Accidental Inventions, Amazing Mistakes That Worked. And let me tell you, it's got stories that'll make you see your kitchen and your medicine cabinet in a whole new light.
Yeah, it really speaks to what you might call that inventor's mindset, you know?
Okay.
The ability to look at something that went wrong and think, okay, not a failure, but a stepping stone.
Yeah.
What can I learn from this?
Okay, so let's unpack this with a classic example. The microwave.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine life without it?
Oh my gosh. Shit.
Zap, it's done.
Right.
But this revolutionary appliance actually came about because someone accidentally melted a chocolate bar.
Yeah, and this wasn't just anybody.
Okay.
This was a Raytheon engineer, a guy named Percy Spencer. So it's World War II. He's working with radar technology, and he notices that a candy bar in his pocket has melted.
Oh, no.
Now, most of us would be like, dang it, my snack.
Right.
But Spencer saw an opportunity.
It was like, hold on.
Yeah, he's like, wait a minute, there's something going on here.
There's got to be a way to capitalize on this.
Exactly.
But here's the kicker.
What's that?
The first microwaves were enormous.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking fridge-sized behemoths.
Well, that's because early microwaves use these massive magnetrons. Right. That's the component that generates the electromagnetic waves that actually do the heating of your food.
Right.
And it really took years of research and development to shrink those down to the compact size we're used to today.
Yeah, it's wild to think that something that's so commonplace now, it's once this giant, expensive piece of equipment. So from melting a chocolate bar to revolutionizing how we cook. Yeah. Talk about a happy accident.
Speaking of revolutionizing,
yes,
our next accidental invention completely transformed medicine.
Penicillin.
Okay, set the stage for us. I know it's got something to do with a messy lab, right? Exactly. Picture this. 1928, Scottish scientist Alexander Fleming, hard at work in his lab studying bacteria.
Oh.
He returns from a vacation to find that one of his petri dishes, the dishes they use to grow bacteria in,
right,
has been contaminated with mold.
Ugh.
Yeah, a common lab mishap, right?
Yeah, you think that would be bad news for your experiment?
You would think so, but this is where Fleming's keen observation skills come into play.
Okay.
He notices something peculiar.
Right.
The mold, which turned out to be this rare strain called penicillium, was actually preventing the bacteria around it from growing.
So instead of just tossing out a ruined experiment, he stumbles upon one of the biggest medical breakthroughs in history.
Yeah, and you talk about timing.
Yeah.
This is right as World War II is erupting.
Wow.
And before penicillin battlefield wounds, even minor ones were often fatal because of infection.
Right.
Penicillin changes all of that.
Yeah.
It gave doctors a really powerful weapon to fight infection, drastically improving survival rates for soldiers and civilians. I mean, it's not an exaggeration to say that penicillin reshaped the course of modern medicine.
Wow. I mean, you hear about penicillin, but you don't really connect it to those real-world implications.
Right.
It makes you really appreciate the impact of these accidental discoveries, even beyond, the everyday conveniences.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, ready for another one?
Absolutely, bring it on.
All right, let's switch gears from the lab to the kitchen. This next accidental invention is a testament to how even a cook's mistake can have a lasting impact on what we eat today.
Okay.
I'm talking about tofu.
Ah, tofu, the chameleon of the culinary world.
Right.
It's amazing to think that this versatile ingredient, this staple in so many cuisines, originated from a simple and you might even say unappetizing accident.
Okay.
Curdled soy milk.
Wait, so someone looked at clumpy soy milk and was like, I can work with this?
Essentially.
Really?
Yeah, and it says a lot about human ingenuity, doesn't it?
It does.
Instead of just tossing out what seemed like a culinary disaster, someone saw potential in that curdled soy milk.
Wow.
And through experimentation, they discovered a way to transform it into this blank canvas for flavor and texture.
Just goes to show that sometimes the most unexpected ingredients can lead to culinary masterpieces.
Oh,
From culinary mishaps to, some might say, even stickier situations.
little messier, yeah.
Our next accidental invention is something you probably have stashed in your junk drawer right now. Super glue.
Oh.
You know that stuff that bonds to anything and everything?
Yep.
Including your fingers sometimes.
Right. Almost guaranteed.
It's the ultimate testament to that saying, one person's trash is another person's treasure.
I love that.
Because superglue, or cyanoacrylate, as it's scientifically known,
Right.
was initially considered kind of a nuisance by its inventor, Dr. Harry Coover.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
How do you accidentally invent something that sticks that well and not immediately see its potential?
Well, you know, context is everything.
Yeah.
Coover was working at Eastman Kodak back in the 1940s, researching plastics for use in gun sights during World War II.
Okay.
Cyanoacrylate was, to put it mildly, not what he was going for.
Right.
It stuck to everything, gumming up his equipment, generally causing a ruckus in the lab.
So it was like the problem child of the invention world.
Pretty much. It wasn't until years later, while working on yet another project, that Coover had his aha moment.
Okay.
He realizes this incredibly strong adhesive that he had once kind of, cursed,
Yeah.
might actually have some practical applications.
And the rest, as they say, is history. It's amazing to think that something that was once considered a lab nuisance is now used in everything from, household repairs to high-tech manufacturing.
And even medicine.
What?
Did you know that?
No.
Certain types of cyanoacrylate are now used as surgical glue closing wounds without stitches.
Whoa. I did not know that. That's incredible, how a substance that was once deemed a failure, found its way into operating rooms.
Right.
It makes you wonder what other groundbreaking discoveries might be hiding in plain sight, just waiting for someone to recognize their potential.
Exactly. And speaking of hidden potential, let's talk about another accidental invention that's, revolutionized the way we organize our thoughts and leave passive-aggressive reminders. The Post-it note.
Oh, the Post-it note.
Mm-hmm.
The unsung hero of brainstorming sessions and refrigerator reminders everywhere. But I have to admit, I'm a little embarrassed to say I never really thought about where they came from.
Yeah.
Like, how did this little...
How did this happen?
sticky note come to be?
So their origin story is this perfect blend of frustration, ingenuity, and a healthy dose of serendipity.
I love it.
So it all starts with a chemist at 3M, a guy named Dr. Spencer Silver.
Okay.
And he was trying to develop a super strong adhesive,
Of course.
but he accidentally created the exact opposite. A weakly sticking adhesive that didn't seem good for much at all.
Wait, so the thing that makes Post-it notes so brilliant, their ability to stick and re-stick, was initially considered a flaw.
Exactly.
Wow.
For years, Silver's trying to find a use for this, low-tack adhesive, as he called it.
Right.
But, nobody's really biting.
Yeah.
Most people at 3M just saw it as a failed experiment.
Right.
Enter Art Fry, the other half of our Post-it note origin story.
Okay.
Fry was a colleague of Silver's, and he'd been having this problem that Silver's invention turned out to be the perfect solution for.
Okay.
He sang in his church choir and was constantly frustrated by his bookmarks falling out of his hymnal.
Yeah.
And then he remembers Silver's weakly sticking adhesive, and he has his epiphany.
Bam. Light bulb moment.
What if you could create a bookmark that would stay put but wouldn't damage the pages?
And just like that, the Post-it note was born. Talk about a light bulb moment.
It's a classic example of how a seemingly insignificant problem, a slipping bookmark,
Right.
can spark an invention that changes the world.
Yeah. You think about how many things are like that.
I know.
Little problems that we just kind of put up with. We're
Yeah.
like, well, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
But someone was like, no, there's got to be a better way.
I'm going to fix this.
Makes you wonder how many other brilliant ideas are out there just waiting for the right problem to solve.
It's a good question.
Okay, let's move on from the world of sticky notes to, well, the world of actually sticky snacks.
Okay.
Because up next, the accidental invention that has been satisfying cravings and fueling late-night study sessions for generations.
Ooh, what's that?
The potato chip.
The potato chip. A testament to the fact that sometimes the best inventions are born out of spite.
Wait, spite? You mean to tell me someone invented the potato chip because they were mad?
Well, frustrated might be a better word. The year was 1853, and the setting was this swanky resort in Saratoga Springs, New York.
Okay.
Our protagonist is a chef named George Crumb, known for his culinary skills and perhaps his somewhat short fuse in the kitchen.
Okay, I'm already intrigued. Tell me more.
So picture this. A particularly discerning customer keeps sending back his order of French fried potatoes, complaining they're not crispy enough.
Oh, no.
Now,
Picky eater?
most chefs might try to appease the customer, but Crumb, he decided to take a stand.
Oh, I have a feeling this is where things get good.
He slices the potatoes paper thin, fries them to an absolute crisp, and douses them in salt, figuring this'll teach this picky eater a lesson.
The ultimate, fine, you want crispy, I'll give you crispy.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But here's the plot twist. The customer, instead of being outraged, absolutely loves them.
Of course he does.
And just like that, the potato chip as we know it was born.
And of spite.
I know, it's amazing.
It's amazing how a chef's act of culinary defiance led to one of the most popular snack foods in history. Although I have heard there's a little bit of debate about whether potato chips were actually American.
Oh, really?
Something about Belgium, right?
That's right. Well, that Saratoga Springs story is the one that's, most widely circulated. There is some evidence to suggest that potato chips might have actually originated in Belgium, perhaps even earlier than Crumb's famous fried potatoes.
Wow.
But, regardless of where they first came to be, there's no denying their global impact.
It just goes to show that even the origins of something as seemingly simple as a potato chip can be shrouded in a little bit of mystery.
It's true.
But hey, a little mystery just adds to the fun, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, speaking of delicious discoveries, our next accidental invention is one that's near and dear to many a sweet tooth, mine included.
Okay.
The chocolate chip cookie.
Ooh, now you're speaking my language.
But seriously,
Yeah.
who accidentally invents the chocolate chip cookie?
Right.
It just seems too good to be true. Okay, lay it on me. How does such a seemingly simple yet perfect treat come about by accident?
So the story takes us back to 1930s New England.
Okay.
Picture a bustling inn on a busy highway. The scent of freshly baked goods wafting through the air.
Oh, yeah.
Our accidental inventor is Ruth Wakefield,
Okay.
owner of the now famous Toll House Inn,
Right.
known for her delicious from-scratch cooking.
Okay, I'm already charmed. I love a good origin story with a cozy setting.
Well, get ready to be even more charmed because this story involves a missing ingredient and a little quick thinking on your feet. So Ruth is about to whip up a batch of her famous butter drop dough cookies
Okay.
when she realizes she's out of baker's chocolate,
Oh, no.
the key ingredient for that rich chocolatey flavor.
Yeah, every baker's nightmare. What'd she do?
So instead of panicking, Ruth decides to improvise. She grabs a bar of Nestle semi-sweet chocolate, thinking it'll melt into the dough and kind of create a similar effect to the baker's chocolate.
Makes sense, right?
Right.
Chocolate is chocolate. At least that's what my sweet tooth tells me.
Exactly. But here's where the happy accident comes in. The semi-sweet chocolate, instead of melting into a smooth swirl, it holds its shape in the oven,
Okay.
creating those delightful, unexpected chunks of chocolate we now know as chocolate chips.
And thus, the chocolate chip cookie as we know and love it was born.
Yes.
I bet those first customers had no idea they were tasting history in the making.
It's funny how these little accidents can sometimes lead to the most enduring culinary legacies.
Right.
Like, think about it. The chocolate chip cookie is a staple in kitchens around the world, and it all started with this, last-minute substitution.
Totally.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder what other culinary masterpieces are just waiting to be discovered through a little bit of experimentation, or maybe just a dash of forgetfulness in the pantry.
Exactly. A little bit of, oh, I'm out of this ingredient. What else can I use?
That's amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
Forgetfulness in the pantry, the secret ingredient to culinary greatness. Okay, I'm ready for our final accidental invention of this deep dive,
Okay, hit me with it.
and it's a big one. Coca-Cola.
Okay.
I mean, how do you accidentally invent a beverage that's practically taken over the world?
So it's a tale that combines innovation, adaptation, and a keen understanding of, I guess you could say, the ever-changing tastes and legal restrictions of the time.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm intrigued. I know it started as something completely different.
Right. John Pemberton, the man behind Coca-Cola, wasn't actually trying to create this, refreshing beverage.
Right.
He was a pharmacist, and his goal was to develop a medicinal syrup, something that could cure headaches, relieve fatigue, and maybe even lift the spirits a little.
So Coca-Cola, the drink that's synonymous with, good times and refreshment, started as medicine.
It's true.
You've got to be kidding me.
Back then, these kinds of medicinal syrups were all the rage.
Right.
And Pemberton was experimenting with various ingredients, including coca leaves, cola nuts, and get this, alcohol.
Wait, alcohol? Now that's a plot twist.
Well, it was a different time, but here's where the accidental part comes in. Just as Pemberton's syrup was gaining some traction, the temperance movement was gaining momentum too,
Oh, no.
leading to prohibition laws being enacted in various parts of the United States.
Ah, so no more alcoholic beverages allowed. What'd he do?
He adapted. He removes the alcohol from his
Yeah.
recipe and perhaps on a whim decides to mix his syrup with carbonated water,
Oh, good.
which was also becoming increasingly popular at the time.
And bam. Coca-Cola, the iconic beverage we know today, is born.
There you go.
It's amazing to think that a drink that was, created to cure headaches and is now enjoyed at, barbecues and baseball games around the world owes its existence to a changing social landscape and, a bit of ingenuity in the face of prohibition.
Yeah, it really underscores that, innovation often thrives in the face of limitations. It's about seeing opportunity where others might see obstacles and being willing to adapt.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's quite the deep dive into the world of accidental inventions.
I know. Who knew?
From microwaves to penicillin tofu to superglue potato chips to chocolate chip cookies and, of course, the iconic Coca-Cola, it's incredible to see how chance encounters, unexpected results, and even a bit of forgetfulness have shaped the world around us.
It really makes you think twice about, tossing out that failed experiment or that, weird-looking batch of whatever you're cooking in the kitchen.
Yeah, you never know what you might discover when you embrace those happy accidents.
Absolutely.
To our listeners, keep your eyes open, your minds curious, and maybe even embrace a little chaos in your pursuit of knowledge and innovation. You never know what you might stumble upon. Until next time, keep exploring and keep asking, what if?